So we will dry run one process. I will show you what it is. So that means we'll do a simulation. We will prepare the diagram template and the style sheet and migrate all the other processes. And then one thing to do manually is to clean up the role and the system manager. Then over time, what you can do is leverage the new consistency feature. I made a point earlier in the demo that having a common diagram template and a common style sheet is very powerful, but that means a bit of work for the migration. That's not something you need to do on the day one. You can do it a bit later, but it's worth taking the time of doing it to really leverage the way Spinnaker works. Okay, so let's do a dry run. So you're in this mode. What I usually do is I do a dry run just to make sure that we're happy with the way it works. So dry run is a duplicate of a process and a migration. So let's click there. It will create a copy of this request holidays. We'll create a copy of the process. It does it works. And then second, it will make a migration. So it will migrate it to Spinnaker. It takes a couple of seconds. It's a bit longer for new processes, for big, large processes. And now I have my request holiday process. Okay, it's in Spinnaker now. I can see the Spinnaker user interface, and it looks pretty much the same as I was expecting. There was no image in the original template, so I'm not too worried about losing the image here. So that was my dry run. Obviously, very simple process here, but can be good to do if you have a process with a lot of layouts, a lot of, I don't know, a bit of complex process in terms of you've done some fancy designs. Maybe you used a lot of backgrounds using sticky notes, a lot of different formatting. Maybe doing a dry run is a good idea. So now I'm going to my migrate workspace button. And what I'll do is I will just prepare the process, the diagram template and the style sheet so that when I have new Spinnaker processes, they can directly leverage the new diagram template and the new style sheet the way I explained earlier in the demo. So let's go there. What I'll do first is I will migrate my diagram template here. But let's start here. So it's migrated now. Let's go to admin and diagram templates. Here I can administer all my diagram templates of my process. Also a novelty of Spinnaker, I can have several diagram templates. Let's have a look at it. Okay, I have my title, I have a process owner, a little green bar, I'm happy about it. Let's insert an image once and for all, let's fix that. It's not there yet. I will just add it. Voila. It was actually easier to insert from scratch. Okay, so now I have my new diagram template. It's there. The other thing I can do is I will just call it, oops, not edit, sorry, edit name. I will call it Skore diagram template. So I prefer this name. Okay, so I have my diagram template ready so that all the new processes that will be created in Spinnaker, in my workspace with the Spinnaker release, will have the correct diagram template. I will do the same for the style sheet. When you're migrating processes, it will try to reconciliate style sheet as much as it can, but sometimes it will create new style sheets. So let's have a look at the Skore default and see if I'm happy with it. So okay, it has the square borders. I'd rather have the border rounded, and I'd like when there's a little dotted line between the roles and the systems. So I quickly customized my diagram template. Okay, so I have the Skore default. I have a second one. I will just delete it. I don't know what it is. I'm just cleaning up. And this one, I don't mind. So now I have my diagram template and my style sheet ready. So at this stage, if I go there and I create a new process, I can start working. Okay, I haven't migrated the other processes, but to be fair, you decide when you migrate your processes. You can do it now, you can do it later. It's okay. So when I create a new process, just to show you, now I have my diagram template, and I will just verify that my style sheet, I will make it default. It was already default. Okay. So now if I create boxes and lines, they will have the style sheet that I selected earlier. Okay. So my workspace now, what I can do is I can make it my Spinnaker workspace. Okay, so upgrade the workspace now. So what will happen? All users will see the new Spinnaker user interface. All the new processes will be created in the Spinnaker UI, so using the new diagram template that I prepared and the new style sheet I prepared, but I haven't migrated my processes yet. Okay, so let's do it. So now all my users are on Spinnaker. Okay, if I do a hard reload in the browser to get rid of this little preview mode. So now I have a Spinnaker workspace with some legacy content. Now let's go and do the hard work of migrating the processes. There's two ways to migrate process. Either you do them one by one when you feel like it's the right time. Here you can either do a dry run to create a duplicate and have a look before, or clicking the migrate to Spinnaker. Let's do that and manage delivery. So here I'm just sending instructions to migrate this workspace, this process done. Or I can go back to my migrate workspace page here. This page appears as long as you have legacy content. So until the last process until the last process in legacy version in your workspace, you will see this button. Then it will automatically disappear. You can click there to migrate all the processes. So I will do that. I will just launch the migration of all the rest remaining processes in my workspace, and I will wait a couple of minutes to let them. So they are mostly small processes, so it should not take forever. Okay, so now what I can see is that I don't have the migrate workspace button anymore. It disappeared because all my processes are now migrated, so it's all there. So once you've migrated processes, there's really two things to do. You can have a look at the role manager. I find the role manager always interesting because now it will merge all the roles that you had in all your processes in the legacy versions into a central repository at the workspace level here. What I see here is that I need to do a bit of cleanup. I have SAP, which is a system. So now the system does it. The Skore tries to guess what is a system, what is not a system, and migrate it directly as a system. That's why okay, it doesn't have any, it hasn't detected any yet, but SAP is a system. So let's do that. Let's convert it as a system. So here in the next to the edit role button, I have a little drop down and I have a menu called convert to system. And what I want to do here is I will update process where this role is used. So I will just also update, and I will rename the role so it doesn't have the little stars around it. So I will update the process where this system is used and click convert, and off we go. So now if I'm going to the system manager, I have SAP as my first system. Okay, the second thing, I see that I have a line manager and a line MGR. So again, we know it's the same, but the system cannot guess that for you. So I will just go say, all right, my naming convention is to spell the name in full. So I will go on MGR and I will merge it. So I'm on the line MGR and I'm using again the little drop down next to the edit menu. Merge this role. I will select the target role, so the line manager, and I will keep the default option here, replace roles on process boxes, and I will click merge roles. So now it will merge line MGR into line manager. So for a bigger workspace, it may be, you may need to repeat this action a couple of times. You may also realize there's some typo, like something candidate and I don't know, candidate, so it's been misspelled, so you can correct that. Or some also uppercase, different use of uppercase and lowercase that you can, that's a good opportunity to normalize in your workspace. So that's to get a clean roles and systems library. Now let's go back into our process and let's go into the hard topic of the diagram templates and the style sheet. So I'm opening this very simple process. The request holidays, 2 boxes, very simple. It's a migrated process from a legacy system. So as I was explaining before with my Word document, the diagram template is really copy and pasted into it, but it has it's not a Spinnaker diagram template. It's a legacy diagram template, which I'm not interested in anymore. So what I'll do is I will enable the Spinnaker diagram template here. So diagram template, I'm selecting the one that I've prepared earlier, Skore diagram template, save and reload the page. Let's go and do it. Okay, so now I have this situation that I'm calling the double template situation. The only thing I need to know is to go and delete. I will just draw a selection square here, and I will go and delete everything that is selected, and only my Spinnaker diagram template will remain. How do you know what is the Spinnaker diagram template and what is the legacy? The Spinnaker diagram template cannot be selected. It's like invisible in your background. It's there, but it doesn't react to your mouse. You can try as much as you want to try to select it. You can't. It just doesn't react at all. So this is why it's fairly safe. If your process has drill downs, you'll need to do that on every single diagram. Okay. The second thing is a bit similar operation, but much faster, is to do the style sheets. So again, map properties, style sheet, and I'm seeing it uses one of these migrated style sheets. And just for the sake of consistency, I'm using this migration period to use the Skore default save. So now you see that the style has changed and it uses my my new style sheet. In this new style sheet, I see, all right, actually, I don't like very much the color. I don't want to see the border of the white box. So now if I'm editing, let's actually do that live. It would be simpler. So let's go to show you the power of the new style sheet in Spinnaker. So admin, style sheet, Skore default, that's the one I agreed with myself that's the one I will use. I don't want this border. So white box, fill color, text color, that. Okay, so now if I reopen this process that I had, uncover insights with analytics, I see now the style sheet has been applied automatically here. So this is really the power of the new diagram template, and the power of the new style sheet is that they are centrally managed. If I'm changing them, if I want to make a little tweak, they will cascade everywhere automatically. So to repeat the steps, first I recommend doing a dry run of one process, especially if you have some very complex looking. So it's really process using a lot of shapes, maybe where you've done some visual constructions that are not just boxes and lines. Boxes and lines convert just fine. There's nothing to worry about. So doing one dry run verifying is good practice. Then preparing the diagram template and the style sheet is good, so that all new processes that are created are they are nice and square. They are using the new Spinnaker features. We don't need to worry about it twice. Then we migrate the rest of the processes. Then we clean up the roles and the system manager. At the end, applying the diagram templates to all diagrams of existing processes and applying the style sheet as well. The recommendation will be maybe to let your editors know, all the people you're mapping processes, maybe let them know that, okay, the look and feel of Skore will have changed, that there's new features. So maybe do a little call with them to make them aware of what are all the new things they can use in Spinnaker. You can share this video or the previous part, the first part of this drop-in session with them, so they have a very high level overview. And then you're good to go with Spinnaker.